What's going on, everybody? It's Scizor. Welcome to another tier list video. Today I'm bringing you the most accurate Steel type Pokemon tier list. Now, if you don't know what's happening, basically a while back I made a typings tier list video, and I've slowly but surely been going through all the typings from my least favorite to my most favorite, and today we have Steel type. And if you're new to the tier list series in general, tiers go as such. It goes goated, stupid good, okay, meh, and trash. We have one more column right here called not steel, what the fuck. That's because Arceus and Savali are not steel types normally. You have to be given a held item to make them steel types. Otherwise, they'd more or less be in the same spot every single time. So, I put them here. If you want to see where I place these Pokemon on their normal types, be sure to check out my normal type Pokemon tier list video. It is up on the channel. But, without further ado, let's get into it. We're gonna have a little bit of a shorter tier list video today because I didn't realize how few steel types there actually were. So, to begin, we have Alolan Sandshrew. Alolan Sandshrew is okay. Alolan Sandshrew is okay. Ice Steel, I thought this thing was pure ice, but apparently it's Ice Steel. I really like Alolan Sandshrew. I've said it in other videos where the Alolan and Galarian Pokemon were introduced. I feel like it is a welcome change. I feel like this made Sandshrew more relevant. And yeah, basically, you don't really get... I've noticed this with all my tier lists. There's a following theme that goes along with it. You don't get certain Pokemon for the Pokemon they are. You get them for their evolutions. So in this case, you don't really get Alolan Sandshrew for Alolan Sandshrew. You get Alolan Sandshrew for Alolan Sandslash. And Alolan Sandslash, I really like. Alolan Sandslash is stupid good. Still Ice Steel. Its claws went from being able to dig in the ground to being ice picks to climb glaciers. It looks super cool. I really like this thing. Horrible for fire types. But obviously if you have an ice type, you're not going to take it out against the fire type unless it's also water or ground or something like that. But still, I really like Alolan Sandslash. I think it's stupidly good. Alolan Diglett is okay. Alolan Diglett's okay. It has all the benefits of being Diglett, but also the addition of Steel type. It's not a drastic change. Literally, all they did was they changed the dirt around Diglett, and they gave him a few sprigs on the head, and they made his skin a little bit darker to make it look tan. But that's it. That's all he did. He has a few different moves. I think he gets iron. What is it called? It's not Iron Wall. That's what the animation is. It's Iron Defense. That's what it is. It gets the addition to Iron Defense, which is pretty good. Pretty good. But you don't get Alolan Diglett for Alolan Diglett. You get Alolan Diglett for Alolan Dugtrio. Alolan Dugtrio is also stupid good. Ground Steel. Again, not really the most drastic design change from Cantonian Dugtrio, other than just you took some Dugtrio and you put wigs on them. Again, Ground Steel has access to Iron Defense, has access to Metal Claw, all the benefits of being a ground type with the addition to Steel Stab. It's really good. I really like this thing. Galarian Meowth. Galarian Meowth is... I'm gonna say it's okay. If I'm not mistaken, this thing is Steel, Mono Steel, if I'm not mistaken. It's... I never really used one of these. So I don't really know if it's more defensive or offensive. I think it's kind of like a weird balance in between. But, you know, it's an okay Pokemon. It's an okay Steel type to scoop up. Magnemite. Magnemite's also okay. Magnemite, you know, Electric Steel. Doesn't have Levitate, by the way. I always thought it had Levitate, but it doesn't. You know, it's a special attacker, I'm 99% sure. But, yeah, you don't really get Magnemite from Magnemite. You get Magnemite from Magneton. Magneton is also okay. Magneton is a cool Pokemon. Decent stats. You give it an Eviolite, it can be pretty bulky, but you know, it's a mid-evolution. You know what I mean? For the longest time, this is the final evolution, and it was fine, but because we have another evolution above this one, I can't justifiably put it in stupid good. It's not that good without the evolution. Next up, we have Fortress. Steel Bug. Fortress kind of meh. Fortress is like Gen 2 Voltorb, but arguably better. Because Voltorb, the best move it gets is Explosion. and it doesn't get much else. The only other offensive move that I feel like is actually really good for Voltorb to get is Discharge, which, you know, powerful electric type move. My problem is the stats for being anything other than a bomb is not there. Fortress, you know, yes, he's known as the explosion Pokemon. This thing does what it does very well, which is blow up, but it's also a setup mon. You can set up spikes, you can set up what is it called? What's that move called? You can set up spikes, set up poison spikes or toxic spikes, and you can set up stealth rock. That's what it's called. You can set up stealth rock. You can also put rapid spin on this end and be a hazard clearer. It's a pretty decent Pokemon, but its stats for like, that's pretty much what it does. It sets up and that's it. If you want to set up mon, this is a decent way to do it. But other than that, his stats just aren't there. Steelix is stupid good. I really like Steelix. I'm so glad they gave Onix an evolution because Steelix hits so much harder. It's a lot bulkier as well. The steel weakness doesn't really help Rock because you know, you're quad weak to fighting now. You're neutral to fire, whereas before you resisted. But the boost in stats really help it out, and I really like it. Mega Steelix is goated, just hands down. I really like Mega Steelix. I really struggled to decide if I wanted to do a playthrough with Mega Steelix or not when I was playing my second playthrough with Mega Ruby, because you don't get all the Megas until post-game, which kind of sucks. I feel like if you're going to do a thing like that, I want to be able to find them before I beat the game, so that way if I want a Mega Steelix or I want a Mega Lopunny on my team, I can get it. If you want to make all the busted ones, like, you know, Mega Metagross and Mega Mewtwo, wait until post-game to be able to use, fine, whatever. But, you know, something like this, I really wish I could have used in a playthrough earlier on, but still, he's a monster. I really like him. Then again, I like all Megas. Scizor. Scizor is also goated. I really like Scizor. Scizor, Bug Steel, shouldn't be as good as it is typing-wise because it's super weak to fire, but it gets access to Bullet Punch, it gets access to E-Speed, it gets access to, is it X-Scissor? I think it's X-Scissor. It gets Moxie. Adamant Nature, this thing is taking lives. It's such a strong Pokemon. Mega Scizor, I feel like has to go. I don't like its design as much as I do Scizor's, but because of its stats, I feel like I have to put it in goated. A huge boost to attack and speed. Again, it's like Scizor, but like you put Bullet Punch on this thing, nothing's living that. If it's anything but resisted, it's not living a Bullet Punch. It's not living an X-Scissor. This thing just takes fucking lives. Skarmory, I know Skarmory is supposed to be like kind of low-key good, but I never used the Skarmory. So I'm putting it in okay. I don't really use the Skarmory to vouch for how good it is, but it's a cool-looking Pokemon. Gen 3. Gen 3 does not miss. And yeah, I feel like if I had used it in a playthrough or something like that, I could vouch for it to go up higher or lower. But me taking the community's word for it, I'm gonna put them in okay. Mawile is okay. Fairy Steel hits pretty hard, moves pretty fast. It's just its stats aren't there. They gave it a Mega Evolution to give it, you know, some new light and, you know, try to get it used more, which is good. I'm always down to give Pokemon something new to give it a little bit more of a boost. If a Pokemon isn't just complete dog shit, but like isn't the best either. If you want to give it a little something to like kind of boost its popularity a little bit, I'm always down for that. And yeah, it's just here. Mega Mawile, I think it's stupid good. Again, Fairy Steel, I love the design, big stat boosts. Just, you know, it gives new life to Mawile and gives people a reason to use it, and I really like it. It goes in stupid good. Aaron, it's okay. I was gonna put it in meh, but I feel like it gets too good of moves at the stage that you can get it for it to be a meh. Steel Rock, you know, not the best typing combination. Doesn't really hit all that hard, but you don't get an Aron for Aron, you get it for Aggron. Lairon is also okay, but a little bit above. Still Steel Rock, heavily more defensive. Hits a little bit harder, but it's more defensive than it is offensive. You give this thing an Eviolite, you know, I'm not gonna say it's not going to die, because it is, it's depending on if your opponent's using a fighting type or not. But it can hold its own. But with you don't get Lairon for Lairon, you get Lairon for Aggron. Aggron is stupid good. I love Aggron. Aggron was one of my favorite Pokemon growing up as a kid. It was so gnarly looking. Steel Rock, gets access to Iron Tail, gets access to Avalanche. Not Avalanche. Is it Avalanche? No, it's no, it is Avalanche. Isn't it? I feel like no, Avalanche is the ice one. Rock Slide, that's what I'm thinking of. Gets access to Rock Slide, gets access to Crunch, gets access to Iron Defense, gets access to Metal Claw. It just gets access to all these stat boosting moves. Sadly, his stats aren't incredibly high, which is why he gets access to these moves that give him potential stat boosts or potentially lowers your opponent's stats. But I still really like him. And they made him even better with Mega Aggron. Mega Aggron is goated. I love Mega Aggron. He screams built like a tank. He is Tonka tough. Huge boost to defense. Good boost to attack. Speed isn't there, but we're not looking for speed. We're looking to just one-hit the enemy. I love Mega Aggron. Beldum, okay. Here's my thing with Beldum, right? I like Beldum, but I don't think he's good enough to go in here. Design-wise, he's cool. I would put him in Meh. However, he has to go in trash, and here's my reason why, right? Beldum only gets access to Takedown. That is the only move he gets. If he had any other move that didn't do a massive amount of recoil, I'd put him in Meh. You know what I mean? He's rough to get through. He's rough to get through, I know. But, you know, he can hold his own. But his only move is Takedown. So, because his only move is something that gives him recoil damage, I have no choice but to put him in trash. If you're trying to get him post game, you know, super easy. You slap an EXP share on him, you battle a bunch, and boom, within like 5 to 10 minutes, you have him a Tang. But if you're trying to use him in an early playthrough, it ain't gonna be pretty. So, for that reason, Beldum's in trash. Metang, on the other hand, Metang is okay. Metang is okay. He gets Zen Headbutt. He gets access to, I think he gets Tackle right off the bat, which is funny. He gets Iron Defense. He gets Bullet Punch. Gets all these cool moves. He gets Levitate. But the reason he's in okay is because his stats just aren't quite there to make him like anywhere above, but that's okay. Because usually when you get a Metang, you're not getting a Metang for a Metang. You get him from Metagross. Metagross is fucking goated. Metagross is one of the best steel types of all time. This thing takes lives. Steel Psychic. This thing was so strong they had to nerf him in Gen 4 and above. This thing, because Steel back in the day, if you didn't know, resisted Dark. So you had a Psychic that was neutral to Dark types. And Steel already resists Bug. So the only thing that could touch this thing was Fire or Ghost. That's it. Because, you know, Steel is weak to Fire and Fighting. He gets... Fire's, you know, he's still weak, but Steel Psychic resists Fighting, so now he's neutral. He was so broken that they had to nerf him and make Steel not resist Dark anymore. He's such a cool Pokemon, worthy of the pseudo-legendary title. And then they said, let's make him even more busted. Mega Metagross is one of the most broken Megas of all time. It is so good. This thing is in both OU and in Ubers, depending on how you run it. It's insane how many lives this thing is capable of taking. It's crazy. It's like I can't put into words how good Mega Metagross is. Registeel. I really like the Regi Legendaries. But Registeel is of the 3 originals is not my most favorite. Doesn't get a big move pool. Its stats for a Pokemon are great, but for a legendary aren't quite there. It basically just it exists. Again, I really like the Regis, but Registeel just kind of exists. Jirachi is stupid good. I really like Jirachi. Jirachi is stupid good. Steel Psychic, you know, same thing with Metagross, but it's base 100 across the board because it's mythical. You can run this thing special. You can run this thing physical. You can run it bulky. You can run it fast. You can run this thing anything you want. You put Wish on this thing and rest. It's not going to die. It's annoying. It's stupid good. It's a really good Pokemon. Gen 4, Empoleon. I told you guys we were going to blow through this thing. Empoleon is another stupid good mon. I really like Empoleon. Water Steel. I'm pretty sure it's the only Water Steel we have to this day until Gen 9 comes out. We might get a new Water Steel. But Water Steel, very unique typing. I think we really missed out on the fact that Dawn could have had an Empoleon in the anime, but that's whatever. I really like it. With the Gen 4 starters, it's kind of a toss-up for me. But Empoleon, you know, I would gladly take an Empoleon any day of the week. Shieldon! I'll be with you, it's kind of meh. In terms of Steel types, kind of meh. Steel Rock, his stats aren't there. He's supposed to be the bulky of the two Gen 4 fossils, but his stats just aren't there. He's super frail, but you don't really get Shieldon for Shieldon. You get a Shieldon for Bastiodon. I really like Bastiodon. He's stupid good. I really like Bastiodon. I've always liked Bastiodon better than Rampardos. Rock Steel, again, not the best typing combination, but I like his design. I've always thought a good offense is a great defense. He's gnarly looking. I really like Bastiodon. I wish that his offense was a little bit better. I wish that, I feel like if they just made him pure steel, he wouldn't, you know, be as bad as frail as he is, considering he's supposed to be the wall. But just about all fossils are rock type. It used to be all fossils are rock type, but now they're not because of Gen 9. So Bastiodon, I really like him. He's stupid good. Wormadam. This is the trash one. It's a bug steel. Still feel like this thing should be bug fairy, but whatever. I feel like it's trash. It's trash, man. I like Wormadam, don't get me wrong. I like the design of Wormadam, but just, it's trash. It's absolute garbage. Literally, it's surrounded by garbage. Bronzor, Steel Psychic. Bronzor's kind of meh. Doesn't really have the stats to hold its own. You know, like I said, decent typing. You know, it's the same typing as Metagross and Jirachi, but it's just its stats aren't there. And realistically, if you get a Bronzor, you're not getting it for Bronzor. You're getting a Bronzor for Bronzong. Bronzong is okay. I really like Bronzong. Bronzong, Steel Psychic still, more defensive than anything. I've used it in a Nuzlocke before, and it kind of carried. Surprisingly enough, it kind of carried. But there's so many better steel types out there. I can't justify putting it higher in OK, and I can't justify putting it in stupid good or goated. So OK is where he lies. Lucario, the GOAT, my favorite Pokemon. Lucario's my all-time favorite Pokemon. I really like Lucario. Steel fighting, master of the martial arts. The movie made him look so fucking cool. I love Lucario. He's goated. And then they made him even better. Made him infinitely better with Mega Lucario. Mega Lucario is the GOAT. Mega Lucario is the best Mega of all time. Mega Lucario is so fucking cool. He said, hey Giratina, let me snatch your look real quick. He's so fucking awesome. I love it. Magnezone. This is the reason that Magneton isn't higher up on the list than what it is. Magnezone is stupid good. I really like Magnezone. Steel Electric gets Levitate. Really high special attack. Pretty decently bulky. It's insane. This thing is a really good steel type Pokemon to get. I love this thing. It's so cool. Probopass. Probopass is okay. Steel Rock gets Levitate. It's one of those weird Pokemon, right? He kind of does a little bit, but not much. He gets strong moves, but they're oddball moves. Like he gets what is it? It's not Signal Beam. It's the steel type beam move. I can't remember what it's called, but he gets that. He gets Ancient Power. Just and Discharge. The moves that he gets are weird. His stats back him up, but the moves he gets are really weird. Like if you run a Probopass, you're running a pretty weird build for him. So he's just okay. Dialga, the God of Time, is goated. Such a cool Pokemon. Such a cool Pokemon. Steel Dragon. First off, Dragon best typing. He's the God of Time. What do you want? He will walk in, fuck your bitch, and then rewind time just so he can do it again. It's amazing. He's such a cool Pokemon. Oh, one of the best legendaries. Heatran's stupid good. I really like Heatran. Fire Steel helps the water weakness. Doesn't really help with the ground weakness. Kind of helps with the rock weakness. I forget if Steel resists rock, but I know rock's weak to steel, so he gets some moves for that. Just, you know, good Pokemon overall. He's not a bad choice to get. I like him. Excadrill. Excadrill is a stupidly good Pokemon. One of the best ground types, one of all time, and he's part steel, which makes him hit even harder. He's good setup. He's a good hazard remover. He hits hard. You get this thing adamant nature. He is taking lives, Metal Claw, Quick Attack, Earthquake, whatever you want him to do. He is amazing. I like him. Excavalier. Bug Steel. Excavalier is okay. Really weak to fire. Hits like a truck. But he's like, you know what I mean? He's one of those Pokemon like he's good at what he does and not much else. He hits hard. You give him a stab bug and a stab steel move. He hits hard, but he doesn't really set up anything. He doesn't really have any good stat boost moves. He just kind of exists. He's not a bad Pokemon to get by any means, but you're just sending this thing to Oonga Boonga punch things. Ferroseed is it's kind of trash, not gonna lie. Ferroseed's kind of trash. Steel, grass, not the best typing. Super weak to fire. It's neutral to bug. It's just his stats aren't there. He's kind of defensive for what he is, but other than that, his stats not there. But you don't really get Ferroseed for Ferroseed. You get Ferroseed for the Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is low-key kind of stupid good. I'm surprised how good this thing is. It gets access to Iron Barbs as an ability, so any physical type moves, your opponent's going to lose some health. You put a Rocky Helmet on this thing, your opponent's losing health from that. He's a great setup mon. He gets Spikes, Toxic Spikes, Stealth Rock. He gets Rapid Spin. Everything that Fortress can do, this thing can do in spades, alright? And it damages your opponent over time. It's an insanely good Pokemon. I really like this thing. Clink. This is a boy Clink. Steel Electric. Clink is kind of meh. Clink's kind of meh. His stats aren't there. He doesn't really do much. He's kind of a grind to evolve, but you don't really get a Clink for Clink. You get Clink for Clink Clang. We got Clang. We're halfway there. Clang is... Clang's okay. Clang's an okay Pokemon. Steel Electric, Steel. Again, his stats aren't quite there, but again, you don't really get a Clink for Clink, or you don't get Clang for Clang. You get Clang for Clink Clang. Clink Clang, low-key stupid good. Steel Electric, you know, he does really good, does good. I think he's special. I forget if he gets Levitate, and I think Levitate's a hidden ability, but he's like a Walmart Magnezone, right? Like, he's good enough to warrant being stupid good, but he's kind of on the tail end of stupid good. You know what I mean? Galarian Stunfisk. Trash. I don't know why they made this thing. It's steel ground. It's a bear trap. You know, it's a cool design, but you know, we don't need this thing. This thing should not exist. Ponyard is kind of meh. Ponyard's kind of meh. Dark Steel gets access to Defiance, and when any of his stats lower, his attack boosts, which is kind of nutty. Because like, oh, you're gonna make me weaker you're gonna make my defense weaker. Well, let me just hit you even harder. It's a decent Pokemon, but its stats aren't quite there. When it comes to Ponyard, you don't really get Ponyard for Ponyard. You get Ponyard for Bisharp. And Bisharp is stupid good. I really like Bisharp. Still gets Defiant. You know, it's still Dark Steel. It's access to Metal Claw. Gets access to not Crunch, but a Dark Claw. It's a really, really good Pokemon. I really like Bisharp. Durant, kind of meh. Durant's kind of meh. Bug Steel. I'm gonna be real with you. Don't really know what this thing does. I know they made this thing as like a predator for, not predator, but a prey for Heatmore. Because, you know, Heatmore's an anteater. It eats Durants. That's about all I know it for. I'm being real with you, Chief. I think all it's meant to do is be prey for Heatmore. Cobalion is stupid good. Cobalion is stupid good. Steel fighting, same typing as Lucario. Needs to be a legendary to keep up with him though. One of the 3 Swords of Justice. That's pretty much what I gotta say. He's a cool Pokemon. He's good at what he does. He hits things really hard. Genesect is stupid good as well. Genesect is like, it's Bug Steel, and its signature move can change typings depending on the drive, which is really awesome. Don't really know about the lore because you think this thing be from the future, but in one of the movies, it's from the past. So it's like a fossil Pokemon, but not. It's weird. It's a weird Pokemon, but I really like it. Honedge. Honedge is okay. Honedge is an okay Pokemon. Ghost Steel. Its typing's good. Its stats aren't all quite there. But you don't really get Honedge for Honedge. You get Honedge for Aegislash. Doublade. Doublade is also okay. Doublade is also okay. I know this thing is actually competitively viable. You put an Eevee Light on this thing and it's hard to kill. Still Ghost Steel. Its defense and its attack are pretty okay. But in my opinion, you don't get Doublade for Doublade. You want Aegislash. Aegislash is goated. One of the best Steel types. Ghost Steel, its ability, King Stance, if you're using a move that like raises your defense or uses like Protect or King Shield or anything like that, its defense boosts up. If you go to its attacking mode, its attack boosts up. Crazy Pokemon. And how its stats can just interchange mid-battle. So like if you're needing to take a hit and you know that like your opponent's gonna go first, you do an attacking move, your opponent goes, your defense is up, so that way you can tank the hit. Then your attack and defense, swap, and then you hit insanely hard. It's crazy. I really like this thing. Klefki. Klefki is okay. Klefki's okay. Fairy Steel. This thing is just a Haxmon. That's all it is. You put Paralyze on this thing, or you put Thunder Wave on it, you put Will-O-Wisp on it, you put it's Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, you put Yawn on this thing, or you could put Hypnosis on this thing, and you put, I think it gets Ice Beam so you can try to freeze. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's a Haxmon. That's all it is. Togedemaru is also okay. Electric Steel, this is a Pikachu clone. Not much to say about it, you know what I mean? I think it also gets Iron Barbs, but I don't see, there's not been many people to scoop up a Togedemaru unless they just want something different. If you want something different, more power to you, but that's about all it's good for. Solgaleo. Soul fucking Galeo. Another Steel Psychic. Still think it should have been Steel Fire, but whatever. Really, it's a powerhouse. It's Solgaleo. What more do you want? This thing, you look at this thing and it screams power. It's insane. Celesteela. Celesteela is stupid good. Steel Flying. I think it's the only Steel Flying, actually. The biggest Pokemon we have to date. This thing is the largest Pokemon we have. For the longest time it was Wailord, Celesteela took it. This thing is miles bigger than it. It's insanely big, insanely slow, but hits like a goddamn truck. It's pretty fucking awesome, actually. I really like it. Then we have the options of the spectrum. Kartana, super slow, hits like a goddamn truck. No, super fast, hits like a goddamn truck. Celesteela is bulky. Kartana hits hard and is crazy fast because it's like made out of paper. Grass Steel. I really like it. It goes in stupid good. I really like this thing. Again, high attack, high speed. Nothing's gonna lift this thing. Nothing. Like if you can land a hit, it's gone. But it's insane how hard this thing hits. Dusk main or Dawn main Necrozma is goated. But where in goated? I'm gonna put it here. Dawn main Necrozma is goated. Absorbed all the light from Solgaleo to become this. It can interchange in between it and Ultra Necrozma, one of the strongest Pokemon of all time. And yeah, it's just insanely awesome. I really like it. Magearna, Steel Fairy is stupid good, but on the tail end is stupid good, just because I don't really know what it does. Nobody really used this thing. This thing is kind of like another human-made Pokemon. Which at this point people felt like it was losing its charm because Mewtwo was supposed to be the man-made Pokemon, and then it just kept bringing out more and more man-made Pokemon. And around when this thing came out, people were just like, enough's enough. You've taken the charm of Mewtwo being the first man-made Pokemon, and it said, well, actually, all these Pokemon, no, stop it. Sakatata, Rock Steel is also stupid good. High defenses. It's a weird Pokemon, I would say that. It's a weird Pokemon. I don't really know how to feel about this thing, but its stats make it worthy of stupid good. Milton is kind of meh. I don't really know how to use this thing because I've never used one. The way you get it is weird. It's a Pokemon Go exclusive Pokemon, meaning that you have to get Pokemon Go to catch it. You have to do the event, whatever, to get it, and you have to evolve it in Pokemon Go. I think you have to evolve it in Pokemon Go. I don't know if you can evolve it in Sword and Shield or anything like that. I think you have to get it there. I didn't like there being a Pokemon Go exclusive Pokemon when it first came out. The design's nice, but I still don't care for it being a Pokemon Go exclusive. But if you're getting you're not getting Milton for Milton, you're getting Milton for Melmetal. Melmetal is stupid good. I don't own one, but I've seen what this thing can do. It's gnarly. It is insane. This thing, like, it just looks super cool. It looks so cool. I wish there was an easier way to get it. I wish that they would at the very least come out with an event to be like, hey, you can get this Pokemon. Because I want it. I want this Pokemon. It's super cool. And then they gave it a G-Max form. G-Max Melmetal is also stupid good, but then the lead is stupid good right now. It's for the same reason that Melmetal isn't stupid good. It just looks like it's super powerful. Just like Dawnmane Necrozma. It screams power. Corviknight is also stupid good. I really like Corviknight. Steel Flying. This is the second Steel Flying that we ever got. I was surprised that this thing evolved from the Route 1 bird. Because they do not look like they should be on the same evolution line. Hits like a goddamn truck, pretty damn bulky, slow for a flying type, but that's okay because we're surviving any hit we get. G-Max Corviknight is more awesome than regular Corviknight. Stat-wise, it's a huge boost, but design-wise, though it's cooler, it's not much. It's just the underwing where it's like red and glowing is cool, but it's ahead of Corviknight because it has better stats, but the design is just kind of, like, it's literally just Corviknight, but with glowing wings. That's what it is. Berserker. Berserker is interesting because with the regional variants, we've always had, like, a Alolan Meowth evolves into a Alolan Persian. A Alolan Sandshrew evolves into a Alolan Sandslash. This is the first instance where a regional variant evolved into a different Pokemon entirely. Berserker, Steel Fighting, is actually stupidly good. It's actually stupidly good. It's actually pretty damn good. Hits hard. I forget how this thing evolves. I think this thing has a weird way of evolving too. I can't put my finger on if it does or not. But it's different. I like the idea that you can find the same species of something and it turns into something different entirely based on its surroundings. Cause like frogs, right? There are different species of frogs, right? But all frogs start out as like eggs and tadpoles, but they turn into different types of frogs. So I really like this idea that because Meowth is in an entirely different environment, it evolves into an entirely different Pokemon. Because that's not a Persian. Persian's on all fours. This is a Meowth with a blade. This is Viking Meowth. Cuffin, little Cuffin, Steel type is okay. Cuffin's okay. I consider this to be one of the first true elephant Pokemon we had. Dunfan and, Phanpy, Phanpy's more elfin than Dunfan, because, Dunfan has his short little stumpy legs. But elephants have, like, really muscly, strong, long legs. And though Cuffin doesn't really, like, show that earnestly, its proportions are more elfin-like than Donphan. But with Cuffin, you don't really get it for it. You get it for Copperajah. Copperajah is stupid good. Hits like a truck. I haven't used one yet, but I have friends who have, and they said that they really enjoyed their time using Copperajah. I do need to use one. Maybe I'll replay Sword and Shield on as a side project on stream, but and use a Copperajah. But right now, Copperajah is in stupid good, but on the tail end. G-Max Copperajah, I feel like I have to put ahead of Copperajah just because of stats. Its design is pretty gnarly. I don't like the body though. I understand that it's oxidized copper. It's meant to be like square. Factory made, all this good stuff. I get that. I just don't like it. I'm just gonna be real. I don't like the body. The trunk is gnarly looking. I love it. The body, not so much. Duraludon, Steel Dragon. He's okay. He's okay. He's still Dragon, just like Giratina, but a Dialga. But I really cared for his design. It's kind of, it's weird to say, because he is like weird looking, but he's kind of basic. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't look like, I think his whole thing is supposed to be like a cannon, but I just can't get behind the design. The design's just kind of basic for it to be Steel Dragon. G-Max is better. It's a skyscraper now, which I guess is cool, but it's the same thing, man. Like I don't see Dragon when I see this thing. I don't really care for it when I first saw it, so it's just okay. Zashin is goated. Zashin, Steel Fairy, insanely good. It's the better of the two dogs because of the fact that it's Steel Fairy. Hits like a fucking truck. It's in Ubers, but like it's insane what this thing can do. Like, thank God that you can't G-Max this thing. It's insane. Zamazunta is the one I picked. I like Zamazunta more than Zashin. Zamazunta is also goated. Steel Fighting this time, same typing as my boy Lucario. It gets, you know, it's signature move. I think it's called Shield Bash. I think it's the signature move it's called. Again, I've said this in all my tier list videos, but can you tell I haven't played a lot of 8th gen? Hits pretty hard, but you know, it's still goated, don't get me wrong, but it's I like Zamazunta more, but I will admit the Zashin as a Pokemon is better. And that is going to be my Steel type Pokemon tier list. And as always, this is the most accurate Steel type Pokemon tier list out there. All other tier lists are in fact wrong. But if you think I got something wrong, or you think, you know, you would put something somewhere else, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see me do all sorts of things non-Pokemon related, be sure to check out my second channel, Nubbification. If you want to see me stream both Pokemon and non-Pokemon related content, be sure to check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/Super976. Currently, right now, my stream schedule is I stream every Monday and Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. If you want to see any streams that you have missed, be sure to check out my VOD channel, Super9 VODs. Basically, Twitch is not like saving your VODs unless you're partnered. So what I do is, whenever I'm done streaming, I pick the VOD from there, and I put it onto YouTube. If you want to see me post whatever I feel like, be sure to check out my TikTok, Super976 on TikTok. If you want to see my garbage opinions, be sure to check out my Twitter, Super976 on Twitter. And finally, I have a Discord where we post our E3, Nintendo Direct, whatever predictions we have for certain gaming events. We sometimes talk in the chat, talk Discord, post memes. It's a good time. And with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Comment if you think of the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Helps channel, helps yourselves me as a whole. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.
Take bars, little man.